Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. If you're new, you're so welcome. I'm Jane and my husband Mike is holding the camera. We're British, early retirees, debt and mortgage free and living a thrifty, frugal and money saving life on a super tight budget here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Friday we share something food related with you. Now, being British, we do love a Chinese takeaway, we love an Indian takeaway, we love fish and chips. Not so popular about things like pizzas and things like that, or burgers, that's not our preference, but definitely, if you were to ask me, what do I miss from the UK? It's a Chinese takeaway. Now, we didn't have a Chinese takeaway very often as thrifty and frugal people, but we always had a lovely Chinese takeaway on our wedding anniversary. And I looked up our local Chinese takeaway from where we used to live, and if I were to go back and buy that now, maybe with a few extras, maybe some prawn crackers or something like that as well, we'd be looking at spending £15 each. So £30 for one takeaway meal for the two of us is just now beyond my thrifty budget. But like I said, I do miss a Chinese takeaway, and you know, I think the classic thing from there would be sweet and sour chicken with egg fried rice. And that is exactly what I'm going to cook for you this week. The recipe is in the description box below in metric and in American measurements as well. We hope you enjoy the video. So let me get going with running through my ingredients for sweet and sour chicken with egg fried rice. And it is so simple to make that I promise you, once you've made it the once, it will be a family favourite and you'll never go and buy takeout ever again. You'll just always make it yourself. So I'm going to start off with the egg fried rice. So let's go down here. I have got a 2-inch cube of fresh ginger that I have roughly grated. And I have here from out of a jar, so ready prepared, I have 2 heaped tablespoons of a mixture of chilli and of garlic. But you need for this about 4 cloves of garlic and 2 red chillies chopped up. I've then got 1 medium onion chopped up. You could use scallions or spring onions for this. You don't need to use a whole onion, but I really love egg fried rice. To me, it's the best part of the meal. And then I have got 1 green pepper chopped up. Just to add more vegetables to this basically, but that's optional. That could be a bunch of spring onions chopped up. I then cooked 1 heaped cupful of rice, and I have a way of doing it. I take 1 cupful of rice and 5 cupfuls of water and a teaspoon of salt. Bring it to the boil, and then turn the pan off and then leave it till it's cooked through. So that will give me 2 really good sized portions of rice there. And I've got here 2 eggs beaten, because I make an omelette first, and I'll show you all the process. So that is the components of the egg fried rice. And then the sweet and sour sauce. I will put all the measurements in the description box below, so you don't need to worry about the exact precise amounts. But to make my sweet and sour sauce, I've got ketchup, I've got cider vinegar, you could use rice vinegar, you could use malt vinegar, you could use white vinegar. Vinegar is vinegar. I have got here gluten-free soy sauce, you would just use soy sauce. I have got soft brown sugar. If you do not have soft brown sugar or brown sugar, just use white sugar. I've then got here pineapple juice, and then I've got here cornflour or cornstarch to thicken, and I've got a couple of heaped teaspoons here, and that is the sweet and sour sauce element. And then the chicken. I've got here 2 chicken breasts cut into cubes, and then I've got 150 grams here to completely toss the chicken in this, and this is really well seasoned with salt and pepper. You could add 5 spice to that. You could add chili powder to that as you like it. But it really does need to be well coated. And then the flour you can see I've used here for this is self-raising flour. But you would use regular all-purpose flour with a teaspoon of baking powder. So you see I've got my flour for tossing the chicken in, and then I've got the flour here to which I will add water to make a kind of a slurry to make a batter. So the chicken will go in the flour and then it will go in the batter. So the way I'm going to do it is I will make my sweet and sour sauce first, because that can wait. It can sit there and bubble in the background. Secondly, I will make my egg fried rice, because once it's cooked you can put the lid on the pan and it will stay warm. And finally, because you like the batter to be crispy, I will fry the chicken. So there we go, those are my ingredients. Nothing on this table except for the chicken, and I got that on offer. Nothing else here is expensive, really isn't. And I also want to say with egg fried rice, if you've got a bag of mixed frozen chopped vegetables, that is superb to put in egg fried rice. So I am going to get cooking.
The first thing you're going to do when you make this dish today is you're going to make your sweet and sour sauce. So I start by adding the pineapple juice, the soft brown sugar, I add in next the vinegar, and I add in next the soy sauce. And I'm going to add that to the heat and add in the ketchup as well. And I want to get this on a high heat, stirring it all the time, and bring it to a high heat, almost boiling, not quite boiling, you don't want to boil it. So I'm getting it to a high heat, making sure, and I'm stirring it like this to make sure the sugar has dissolved. And then I'm going to add in next, I'm going to take my cornflour and water, which is well mixed, and I'm going to add that in next. Now make the sweet and sour sauce first, because there are 3 elements to this dish, and the sauce is really easy to make, and you just put it on the back of the cooker and that you can just keep it warm. So there you see me adding in the cornflour, which I've added some water in, and I'm going to stir that to make sure that there aren't any lumps. You can always use a whisk to do that. So just make sure it's thickened, and then just leave it somewhere warm, ready for when you want it. So I'm going to show you where we are at so far. I have the sweet and sour sauce there. I will put it on a very, very low heat just to keep it warm. I have the egg fried rice. It's all hot. And I put the lid on it to keep it warm. I have the chicken that I have tossed in the seasoned flour. I then took the rest of my flour, added salt and pepper to this as well, and I added water until it made a thick batter consistency. And a few at a time, I'm going to get the chicken, the floured chicken, into the batter and into the sizzling hot pan, and I'll put it on a plate in batches until I've got them all done. So let's get frying. The next part is where I got a pan hot with about half an inch of oil in it, and I had the chicken that I had tossed in the flour and then completely coated it in the batter. And what you see me doing here is frying them in batches. You want them to be crispy. You really do want them to have a really good, lovely coating on them. And you need to turn them twice to make sure that the batter and the chicken is cooked all the way through. Found it a bit difficult with my big spoon and went and got myself a knife and fork to turn it over. But as I said, make sure you turn it twice to make sure the chicken is cooked all the way through. Spoon and fork, not knife and fork. And I did this in batches and then just put them to one side and the heat retains in them. And that's that. That's the simple process. You just can do them a batch at a time and make sure that they're cooked all the way through by turning them twice. And there is the final sweet and sour chicken with egg fried rice. I promise you, you'll never buy it from the takeaway again, and you'll always make it yourself, saving yourself so much money. That was so simple and so easy to make, and it was absolutely delicious. I can't think of anything that I miss from UK other than Chinese takeaway, so we do enjoy making that once in a while. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you hit the like button. We read all of your comments, so leave us a comment and we will see you soon. Bye for now.